you're lonely, you can talk to me. All right, what is it? It's October 20th, 2020. That has a ring. Oh, God. Wow. 2020 vision. That's what I thought this whole year was going to be about. 2020 vision. What does that take? What does that mean? It shouldn't be taken. I think that's just normal vision, right? Normal vision. So, I don't know. Where am I going to go? I have all kinds of plans. I'm just going to start with, let's see, if my computer's going to be really slow, that's going to be a problem. I'm going to start with, well, it might be like this, you know. Maybe, I guess I'm going to have to do some editing with this show. I did Trump accomplishments yesterday, and according to my schedule that I wrote out last week, I was going to do mail it in today, which would be my statement about mailing it in general, and that how much I tend to agree with President Trump that the whole mail it in thing, not that it's so completely messed up with fraud, it's just, and it's really not too messed up, but what it does end up doing is it lends itself to this polarization where everybody makes their decisions a month and a half beforehand, and you're either part of the red or the blue. And then you go get your marching orders and, you know, then you wave your flag. I'm the blue, I'm the red, and we all celebrate our guy who now is in power. And, you know, I don't know, I'm just kind of, don't know. I feel left out of that kind of whole show. I don't care for it. Mail it in. Intimidation and pressure. That's what I think a lot of people deal with. So I think I was going to try to get the Ice Cube on the phone there. Actually, he wasn't on the phone. He was talking to CNN. And his only deal was like, hey, don't shove me against the wall and claim I'm supporting Trump when I simply have my own plan. I might want to paraphrase Ice Cube. I'll get him on there.
As well, recently, during the Trump administration, most recently in 2018. Here's a taste.
Arrest the president. You got the evidence. That is Russian intelligence.
Now we see a shift. Now he wants to work with President Trump. Here's what the president had to say most recently about Black Lives Matter.
The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, I said, that's such a terrible term because it's such a racist term. It's a term that sows division between blacks and whites and everybody else, and it's a very bad term for blacks. But they were very angry. It's a Marxist organization.
With all that going on, and how the president continues to speak about there being no systemic inequality, it's no shock that Ice Cube got some heat for deciding to work with the Trump administration. He wants to deal with it. I want to understand it. So should you. So here is Ice Cube on Prime Time. Thank you for taking the opportunity, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Chris, your lead-ins are a little misleading.
How so?
Well, the Platinum Plan is not my plan. I came up with the Contract with Black America, and I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the Contract with Black America. One campaign said, we love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election. And one campaign said, we love what you have. Do you mind talking to us about it? And that's what I did. So I didn't run to nobody. And so that was real misleading to me.
Well, I didn't say you ran to anybody. I said that you had taken a pivot.
Well, you said I ran over to the Trump team instead of the Biden team. That's just not true.
Well, you are working with the Trump team instead of the Biden team, and people are giving you heat for it. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the Contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very raw problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power, and I'm going to speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem. So both of them have a plan. Both of them say they're going to do something. And who knows what's really going to happen after November 3rd. Nobody knows from each side. We're all hoping that candidates keep their campaign promises. So that's just it.
Then you say, all right, so then what makes one side better than the other? That's where you get in trouble, which is, do you really think that Donald Trump can be trusted as much as you could trust Joe Biden?
I don't think I'm not trusting any of them. I'm just going by action. That's all I'm going by. I'm not going by words. I'm not going by rhetoric. Not going by media spin. Not going by none of that. You know, I'm not on nobody's team. I'm not on Team Blue. Not on Team Red.
So then I have that wrong.
I'm an independent person, and I believe that's what Black people need to do is become independent, and we need to get something for our vote. You know, that may not happen, but it's gonna happen.
It's got to happen.
Anyhow, yeah. And I saw a beautiful documentary last night that just sort of took me like into what it's all about. What is all about? It's about Earth first. But of course, you would say America first, and I go with you and say, yeah. But what's really first is, of course, if you want to make America first, the first thing you got to protect about America is our environment. This is the experience of where we all live as fellow Americans. Is our environment. This is us. America first is first. Let's deal with America's environment. And it was a movie called Who Bombed Judy Barry? Earth First people. Remember those Earth First people? They were like radical leftist, extremist, communist tree huggers. There's a documentary about them, and I saw the whole hour and 30 minutes with friends up here at the New World Farmstead yesterday, and it's just a powerful thing. And again, it speaks to this battle that I feel like conservatives who are really have the deep integrity, that are not just people who want to like give a free pass to everybody who wants to loot America or loot the planet, to steal from it, to make yourself rich, but be blind to the health of the planet. I mean, that is absolutely terrible. And that's what really where many people think Republicans are at. And I believe that you can't ignore this sense that that conservative liberal, like how much government do you want is really the factor in life, and where are we going to, and at what level do us, me, you, and our children, and children, I don't have any children, but my fellow children, so I'm an old child, how we have to kind of carry stuff on our own shoulders, and it's very difficult. And of course, nobody is an island. So the question is, how much government is too much and how much is too little? And that seems to be the big juggling thing, and I would like to see that we don't twist the wheel too much. I gotta pull the wheel to the left, or I'm gonna pull it to the right. what does that mean? I don't know. I feel like, let the wheels straighten out. Just back off. Let it straighten out. The road's up ahead. Let it straighten out. I tend to think that you got to, somehow we have to trust our fellow citizens rather than look for some magical mandate from political powers up high to save us from planetary catastrophe. It's more like, how do we bring some relaxed peace, some, somebody said, what did they say? May love and happiness and peace. I don't know, somehow those three words, maybe music should have been in there first off. How do we get off stressing each other out? I'm a big Barbara Jordan fan. That would be another one of my videos that I was trying to bring up on this stage, but my laptop apparently...
The Democrat became the first African-American woman to serve in the Texas Senate and the first woman to serve Texas in Congress. Jordan is remembered for her eloquence and her sense of justice and ethics. Some people see Barbara Jordan as the complete opposite of Donald Trump, so it took many folks by surprise when he compared his views to hers. On Wednesday, the president posted a message on the White House website saying Jordan backed common sense reforms and said his America First approach to immigration is in the spirit of Jordan's vision. Jordan led a bipartisan commission on immigration reform in the 1990s. She spoke about the commission's work in 1995, just a few months before her death.
We have concluded that a properly regulated legal immigration system is in the national interest. We support the basic framework of current policy, but I said properly regulated, and I mean that. Immigration is not a right guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution to everyone anywhere in the world who thinks they want to come to the United States. Immigration is a privilege. It is a privilege granted by the people of the United States to those we choose to admit. But this is not a mere favor that we grant to people because we're generous. We're a generous nation, yes. But administration is in our national interest. We admit that. It is in our national interest to unite families and create economic growth and protect those who flee persecution.
The Jordan Commission called for ending immigration for low-skilled workers, enhanced border security, and preventing businesses from hiring people in the country illegally. President Trump says that's what he wants to do, too. But does his vision really match up with Barbara?
Democrats used to care about limiting immigration. Now they don't. Do you know about that thing? Did Bill Clinton kill immigration reform back in the 1990s? I was giving him a... First I thought he did. Then I thought, no, he didn't kill it. He actually supported... He supported the commission that he helped initiate, but apparently the commission was even started before him. Democrats used to champion protecting American workers from foreign competition. They wanted immigration severely reduced and the laws enforced. That was back in like the 80s and 70s. Even Ted Kennedy back then going to Ronald Reagan's office with Senator Danforth of Missouri to try to plead the case against globalization to protect American jobs. And Kennedy describes that scene in his autobiography called True Compass, which I had to read just because it was there in a used bookstore, and I thought, well, this is going to give me some insight. Anyways, he describes the situation of walking into Ronald Reagan's office and Ronald Reagan, I don't want to disillusion all my hardcore Republican friends who feel they want to worship him, but I don't know, he was a tool of, I don't know, not much there as far as I'm concerned. But he was for globalization, and he was a sweet guy. So Democrats, years ago, they wanted the immigration severely reduced and the laws enforced. Senator Harry Reid introduced legislation in 1995 to cut legal immigration by nearly 2/3. 1995 is a long time ago, people. 25 years ago. Who can remember that? President Clinton, in his 1995 State of the Union address, said, "All Americans are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens." Wow, the big crackdown. But that was what the Democrats were doing back then. Everything got spun. When Clinton's U.S. Commission on Immigration Reform, chaired by civil rights icon Barbara Jordan, let's hear it for Barbara Jordan, who passed away a year later after this report was stopped. Clinton promised to support the Commission's recommendations. The Commission's core conclusion called for a significant reduction in legal immigration. They recommended eliminating extended family sponsorship, that'd be chain migration, and the diversity lottery, and a worksite authorization system targeting employers. Diversity lottery, I don't even know what that is. When I was in D.C. a year and a half ago, and I was talking to an Ethiopian cab driver, because there were a lot of Ethiopians in D.C. area, and I asked him, wow, how come, I said, there's a lot of Ethiopians here. I have nothing against Ethiopians myself. I think they're great people, incredibly friendly people and helpful people. And I asked him, how many Ethiopian people are there in the greater Washington, D.C. area? And he was a little embarrassed, and he told me, 300. I said, 300? What does that mean, 300? I know I've already had 3 cab drivers in 2 hours, and everyone's an Ethiopian. 300,000, he said in a quiet voice. 300,000. That seems like an awful lot. Oh, yeah. Well, how'd you get here? He says, a DV. I said, DV, what's that? Diversity visa. I have no idea. 300,000 Ethiopians in D.C., but I guess that's diversity. Anyways, today Democrats full of, let's go back to this historical thing, but why didn't it pass? It says Clinton and others torpedoed the Commission's reforms. Barbara Jordan died in January 1996. That's tragic. I don't know if she knew she had cancer in 1995 while she was the head of the commission. The Boston Globe reported in January 1997, Clinton policy shift following Asian American fundraiser, that Clinton received a memo in February 1996 from John Huang, the Democratic Party's fundraiser in the Asian community, reporting that his Asian contributors' top priority was to kill legislation ending chain migration. The DNC these American words, subsequently received $1.1 million from Asian donors at a fundraising dinner that month. DNC received $1.1 million. It's impossible with this damn computer. 1 month later, Clinton reversed himself, telling Congress to continue to allow chain migration. Clinton migration. Huang. Who's Huang? What's this Huang thing? Oh, Wang Tang, Wang. Oh, forget this. I'm done with this, people. God bless. Love you. This is just And the one that's not going to work out, I don't